Hey everyone, today I'm going to eliminate my OEM rear turn signal bar and replace it with a Custom Dynamics turn signal eliminator kit. Let's get started. So this kit includes the frame, 6 white LEDs for plate illumination, plus turn, run, and brake functionality. It comes in gloss black. It utilizes stock bolt holes for mounting. All the hardware is included, LED lifetime warranty, which is pretty great. To make this kit work, we have to buy a load adapter, a run, brake, turn adapter, and I also have the antenna grommet lights, which actually fit into the antenna holes in the rear fascia, which hang on either side of the rear fender. And you just take out the stock rubber plugs, and those lights are going to fit right into those holes. So that should be a real nice clean look. I'm looking forward to seeing how it works out. So here's a shot of the stock turn signal bar, and for comparison purposes, we'll do some lighting tests so you can see. These aren't stock bulbs. I actually replaced these with aftermarket Custom Dynamics bulbs. Very bright, very effective, but we're gonna get rid of them in favor of a new setup. So in the interest of time, I'll speed up the unboxing process. Basically what we have inside the box is the turn signal eliminator backplate. We have the BCM-Y harness. We have the license plate frame with the mounting screws included. We have mounting bolts, and we got a bunch of zip ties. With all of the parts that are included on the table in front of you, I have no less than 5 pages of instructions. So if I can, I'll try to break this down for you guys and make it a lot easier in case you want to do a similar setup for your bike. For step 1, we're going to remove the seat, the saddlebags, and the side covers. For the next part of step 1, we're going to disconnect the negative battery cable from the battery. It's a little tough to get to because there's a lot of stuff stacked on top of it. Step 2, remove 2 screws on either side of the taillight, unplug the taillight connector from the taillight base, remove the taillight. There's 2 bolts holding the turn signal bar onto the fender, and there's about that much space between the rear tire and the fender, and you got to get your hand all the way up there and a wrench to undo it. So let's see if we can't get those off. All right, skipping to step number 4. On the inside of the fender, remove the 2 turn signal bar mounting bolts and discard them as they will not be reused. I don't have a lot of range of motion with my hand in between the fender and the wheel, so we're just going to have to do a bunch of small turns. There she comes. Now we got those 2 bolts off. Is now off. And now I just have to disconnect the electrical. I'm going to clean this up. I already like it better. So we're underneath the fender. Get a little shot if I can of what it looks like. This is the wiring harness that comes out from under the fender and connects to the turn signal bar. And then I just unplugged it with this guy here. But it's still kept in place with this bolt. The wire is kind of managed up against the fender so it doesn't hit the wheel, and so we got to get that guy off. This little bolt was kind of a pain to get to because there's just no room back there. It's a 7/16 bolt, and now that that's off, this guy's free. Don't scratch my paint, don't scratch my paint, don't scratch my paint. And there we go, it's out. A little dirty. I'm not gonna rub the dirt into my paint. I'm just gonna lightly wipe it off. Nice and clean. So the next thing I'm gonna do before I continue on with the instructions is I have to figure out what I'm gonna do with this antenna. This is the antenna mount. It's held on by a 3/16 bolt, Allen head bolt. I don't really listen to the radio all that much. I kind of don't want to lose the functionality of it. I think a lot of guys who do this turn signal delete and plug it. I don't think I want to do that, but I'm not really sure yet how I'm going to reposition this, but let's see what's possible. There he is. I wonder if I just flip it, because I'm going to need this space here, because I'm going to put my grommet light right in here. And so I need all that room behind it to mount all the wires and the light housing. Let's see if I can just rotate them. And obviously I don't want it to go anywhere near the pulley or the wheel. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, so I think we're done. All I did was flip it around. Proximity to other metal parts affects reception. I'm not sure. We'll find out. But otherwise it looks pretty clean to me. Wide open space to mount my grommet lights. Step 5. Mount the license plate frame and license plate to the turn signal eliminator back plate. Trim the license plate as necessary to prevent the license plate wires from getting out. So it does say to trim the plate because I don't want the sharp edge of the plate to have friction up against that wire half hole right there so that the plate can fit in there flush. Okay, got my protective eyewear. I'm just going to trim off a little piece of this plate. And bend this 90 degrees and make it a little easier to cut. So we got some hardware in here. Sand it down a little bit so it doesn't pinch or it doesn't even touch the wire, so that should be okay. There we go. This gloss paint scratches super easy on anything on a Harley, I found. You just look at it wrong and it scratches. And there we have it. So you got the plate inside the plate frame, inside attached to the backing plate. Looks real nice. Got the beautiful LEDs on either side, and then another row of LEDs. You can see that is unobstructed. Step 6. Mount the turn signal eliminator assembly to the rear fender using the 2 provided mounting bolts. Do not use the stock mounting bolts as they are too long and will damage the turn signal eliminator backing plate. Let's start figuring out all this wiring. Okay, so next I'm going to start installing these little grommet lights. I'm going to feed this through. But basically these just kind of pop in. And that's really all there is holding it in there. It's just a rubber gasket. Just make sure it's sealed all the way around. Do the other side. Those are both plugged in, and I just love how that looks. To me, it's just a much cleaner look. Now that I've got the bolts started, I'm going to tighten them up. Oh, this is fun. There's no room in here whatsoever. Okay, now that the frame is mounted and the grom lights are mounted, and I'm just kind of running it from behind here. I guess I'm going to zip one there, maybe I'll zip one here, keep it well out of the way of any moving parts. Zip another one there, and then I'm going to feed it up here. And I got still plenty of slack, as you can see, and I'm going to organize that and I guess squeeze it under the seat somehow. So the instructions aren't super clear about which plug or adapter this is supposed to go into. I'm giving it my best guess, but I plugged it in. I got to plug in the rest of these guys. Plug this guy into this guy, and this guy into this guy, and this guy back into the bike. And I matched the purple rear wire. This is the voltage regulator, and then I matched purple to purple, brown to brown for the 2 turn signals and the 2 grommet lights. Perform a BCM sync by turning the ignition on, turn the 4-way hazards on, turn the ignition on. Turn the ignition off. Hazards run for 3 to 4 minutes to get synchronized. Alright, so now that it works, I gotta get all this cleaned up and tuck it all back away nice and neatly. Et voila. That's as tidy as I'm gonna make it. Woohoo! I like it. I like it! Now I know that there's some keyboard warriors out there from the Road Glide forum who are going to tell me, yeah, but it's not safe. You can't see you. You know, it's not as bright as the stock lights, and it's a subjective choice. Everyone can do what they like. I think you can see pretty darn well. And if I move over to the quarter, you know, if I do have a vehicle in my rear right third quarter,
and I'll try to be more mindful of being careful when in heavy traffic, changing lanes and whatnot. Custom dynamics, quality products, lifetime warranties. And another thing too is this is not a end-all be-all setup. If I decide in the future I want to add some lights to the bags or some plasma rods, I can always upgrade it and do that. But I like the subtlety, minimalist design. I think it looks great. Very, very happy with it.
Do you approve? You approve?